Welcome back to EnlightenedTrading. I'm your host Conrad, and we have another look at equities and the stock market today. So, as usual, this is my TradingView page, and you should definitely go check it out. And yeah, if you want to stay updated, leave a like and follow me over here. At EnlightenedTrading, same name. And yeah, so this is also my Instagram page. If you want to have some fun along the way, make sure you are following me here over Instagram here at Instagram, and leave a like, share the love around here as well. So yeah, looking at futures, what I want to show you is that you can see right here. This was posted earlier. Yesterday actually, stock futures were halted after a drop down over 5%. A so-called circuit breaker level was reached, and exchanges stopped its trading for a few hours, and yeah, they are now trading once more, and you can see what happened. We are now at the lower low here at the S&P futures, which is pretty insane. If I take a look at the S&P in general, you will most likely see then that we drop even lower. This is pre-market 0.07, 0.7%. But I think this will be much more going into this day, and that we will also drop lower. So that's pretty heavy. This week we'll start trading in 5 hours ish, so in 4 hours. So that is the thing I will definitely keep a look at. They are well, my target is the 200-week moving average for this drop to find its bottom. At least did multiple times in the past. If it actually consolidates on it, which it did multiple times, you can see how we dropped lower and then consolidated on it and then dropped another time, and how we dropped lower and consolidated on it and dropped even another time. So that is the thing I will keep an eye out, if we actually just bounce off of it, or if we consolidate around it, maybe even should break short below, then consolidate and then move even lower. So that is the number one target I will keep my look at here in the S&P. On the Nasdaq, we daily, you can see how we bounced very nicely here off the 200-day moving average. And yeah, as I said, we will also most likely even drop lower here on the Nasdaq. So that is also pretty drastic. You can see what happened last time. We broke lower and we consolidated below it. We moved even lower, maybe into the 200-day. No, not quite. So on the Nasdaq, you can see how we still have plenty of time for a test of the 200-week moving average. Yeah, of course, this was a .com bubble, so I'm not going to go in depth on that. But this is a pretty drastic or a very exponential move to the upside. If we just pull this down and make it to linear instead of logarithmic, you can see how we very well could even pull down, come down to 143, and still make a higher low here on the monthly time frame. I mean, if you just pull it up like that, you can see that we went now exponential, and this could now be a blow off top, maybe even send the price pretty much lower, maybe even to its set of trend line, or all the way down to its all-time high. All-time high here of the .com bubble. I mean, I'm not going to call that, but it's pretty insane what we have seen in the last few days and weeks. And if this continues, of course, then this will have very large impact on the global market in general. Maybe even cause a financial crisis. But you can see, if I show you my videos, then here is one of which in one of which I talked about whether or not a recession could happen or is likely. At that point, I thought it was rather unlikely. but of course there is the chance that it will happen if, and now that I've seen stocks have been halted, futures, and that we will drop even lower. I think that's actually pretty insane that the futures all were halted. I don't know when it happened the last time, but there's I mean it's not, it's very common actually that in fast recessions stocks are halted, so that could be an indicator that this is actually not too unlikely. So yeah, what I want to also show you is that here in Europe, where I'm living, we are already trading. The markets are opened. If I just check index G30, that's what I'm. Yeah, I mean it's pretty similar. So yeah, you can see how this humongous drop in the DAX and German index from actually an all-time high all the way down to almost a monthly lower low. So that's pretty insane. Here maybe we can draw a parallel channel here from this top to the bottom. Yeah, sort of. It doesn't. It's not perfectly, but this is pretty insane that we dropped in like 10 days all the way down to almost a monthly lower low, and of course that's not good for the market in general. Yeah, I mean I don't know what to say about it, but this is just pretty insane what we have been seeing over the last 2 weeks here in equities on the global basis. If you look at gold, gold is still one of the best perform or is now the best performing asset, I think, for this year. If we take into account that we dropped so hard in the last few days and weeks, and yeah, you can see this humongous drop here in oil, actually over 20% down currently here on the CFDs. If you look at the global, I mean at daily loss, you can see that is actually over 34% down, or almost 34% down. I don't know if there was a drop that sharply in the past here in oil, but it doesn't really look like it. So that's pretty insane to see. You can see that we almost broke to an all-time lower low. I mean, not all-time lower low, yeah, okay, but to an lower low here on oil. So that's not good for oil bulls, but maybe your flights will now be a bit cheaper, and your usage of cars will also be a lot cheaper. So for personal uses, this is of course good, but for US oil, I mean the oil bulls, this is definitely not. So yeah, I mean equities are dropping hard. It will be very important what happens in 4 hours in time when market and the S&P actually starts trading again. This will be pretty important for the market in general and where it will turn. Crude oil, of course, was down. CFD is, I mean, not surprisingly, down much lower than oil in general, but this is pretty insane. Gold, yeah, as I said, holding up pretty nicely here around the highs actually. Euro GBP, the euro has been performing very nicely over the past few days. If you Here's the USD euro, you can see this huge rise here in the euro compared to the US dollar, actually from 0.07 to 0.014 now here. So that's pretty insane. From this, you can see how we consolidated here around 9 very nicely here on the 20-day moving average, held above it, and are now moving higher again. this global recession seems to impact the US a bit more than other markets, or at least that's what people are anticipating that will happen. And you can see how we are actually now above the 200 weekly moving average as well, but are heading into set of trendline resistance. The moving averages have crossed here death class, so that's not good for this market. Yeah, I mean this is pretty nuts. Not too uncommon, of course, but for such a price move to happen in the currencies, that's very significant in my opinion. As well, of course, accordingly, the US dollar compared to the euro dropped very hard. This flash crash. Oh, that's not a flash crash. That's a line. Yeah, okay. Maybe if we draw a trend line here, a sharp one, maybe it will be important if this breaks. We have to wait and see. This could now be a buy zone here for the US dollar. I wouldn't, of course, according to the global financial situation. Yeah, so that's pretty insane in general. I don't think I will go in depth, or I can sadly go in depth on what happens today. Maybe I will upload another video tomorrow, most likely actually, what happened. Or yeah, so I think that's it, and I'm going to wrap it up right now. So pretty important what is currently going on in equities and the global market, especially regarding the US and America. So that's it. Hope you watched my latest video on cryptocurrencies and the crypto market in general. So that's it. Hope you had a great start into your week and are doing some productive and good things. And I'll see you guys and girls, you people, back next time. Bye.